This past weekend, ITSUKUSHIMA 2 went down in Japan, the second iteration of a regional tournament series, and it saw lots of Smash talent in the area come out to compete for the title of champion. And while I normally just cover the top 8s of tournaments, this tournament's noteworthy aspects far outstretched the top 8. So if I wanted to cover all of this Japanese craziness, I needed to call in a little bit of help. That's why I'm very pleased to announce that this video was co-written by Rosebloom. If you don't know her, Rosebloom is a Smash stats person who is very focused on the Japanese Smash scene. If you're on Smash Twitter at all, you've no doubt seen lots of her tweets going over niche Japanese tournaments or fun facts. There is no one on Twitter, or I'd wager on Earth, who knows more about the Japanese Smash scene than Rosebloom does, so I knew that she was perfect to get some help in writing today's video. Now, full disclosure, we were originally planning for Rosebloom to send in a voiceover like we have for my last two videos and those collabs, but she unfortunately was not able to, so we had to settle for just a collaboration on the script instead. Don't worry, dear viewers, we'll get her next time we do a Japanese tournament. Rosebloom's Twitter will be linked in the description of this video, and once again, big thanks to her for helping me co-write today's video. Without further ado, let's get into covering everything you need to know about ITSUKUSHIMA 2. First things first, we have the crew battle that took place at the end of day 1. Now, if you weren't aware, crew battles are actually extremely uncommon for big Japanese tournaments, so this crew battle at ITSUKUSHIMA 2 was a bit of a rarity to see. Now, unfortunately, I will not be able to go over the entire crew battle. It had nearly every notable player participate, and every single part of the crew battle took 5 hours to complete. I'm not kidding. I'd have to make my own video specifically on it if I wanted to cover the whole thing. If you want to watch the whole thing, as always, the links to the original Vods are in the description. However, for me, there is a clear highlight in this crew battle that stands out to me as the most notable part of it. It was during the first phase of the crew battle, with the two teams led by Umeki and Ashimo respectively. Umeki's team was in the lead, with Umeki himself still at 3 stocks, alongside Subosubo, Miru, and Goryoka, all at 3 stocks themselves. Ashimo's team was down, with Ashimo himself at 3 stocks, but Ashimo's only remaining teammate being Yara, still having 3 stocks. All hope seemed lost for Ashimo's team, but was there any chance of them bringing this back? Why don't we find out, dear viewers?
回避で避けたが依然苦しい崖展開だが D 当たらずこれはおっと本当にやってのけるのかいや裏強すぎる車でさあここはまずいさあ前哨戦といっても過言ではないこれはねでかすぎる掴んでもうこれは上だけでまだクリアしたいよさあ他もなくなったのでさあ、選手非常も生きたし、撃墜できたのがなんですが、さあ、しかしここはミスと殺されてしまって非常に苦しいのは変わらずといったところにいや、裏選手崖上がりさあ、あるよと最後のストックまで分かんないよとスマブラは圧力がいや、ピクメンがいないさあ、鉄壁の構えかさあ、なんでもしてさあ、フリーカードなんだこの男火力も高い横スマで激まあというようなそうですね痛い展開このパーセントが重くなってさあ、ウエストが飛びすぎて紫ですよ復帰阻止大丈夫かすげえツボ決めきったピタリ賞このさあ紫の波動が飛んでくるさあ俺の波動拳をかいくぐってさあここはしっかり決めきったが足も1ストップ落ちたら手痛いかそうですねもうクルーバトルにおいてストックを有利を取ったからこれは勝利撃さあ足もさあ1ストックも落ちなければあるのか勝利撃さあしかし溜まっていくレイジドライブあるかこれはあるよと足もうなずいているミストップ取ってさあここでさあこのとこに立ち向かえれるか勝利君でまだ大丈夫これ足も決めたやばすぎここ一出勤していく氷岡のまずはアピールだと手しかし空中しっかりかけてストップ勝っていきたいがこの足もの圧が高すぎて チームまだ分からんよと激アツラストスタッフ同士の対決までもう連れ込んでいく。いややり過ごしましたよ。さあどうなる。これは出ないか。勝ったのはチモ本当にこの男やってくれた。
And in the end, Ashimo clutched out a win for his team, with Yara defeating Umeki and with Ashimo defeating Subo, Miru, and Goryoka in an insane run. Now that we've covered the day 1 specialties, it's time for us to take a look at the notable runs and placements that were just outside of top 8. Now, we don't have VODs for all of these players, but we'll highlight some sets with clips wherever we can. Without further ado, let's begin. First off, we have a run from Gen the Blow, a Japanese Incineroar who came into the event as the 37th seed, starting off the weekend by placing 2nd in their pool, only losing to Krosk 2-0. This meant that Gen started off top 128 from losers, going on a losers run that included defeating Abysm 3-0, Orca 3-1, and Kashiya 3-0, before eventually losing to Nizemamo 3-0 for a final placement of 25th. Next up, we have Tubasuwa, who you may know as the Donkey Kong main that ended Yoshidora's insane Elite Smash win streak back when that was happening. Tubasuwa, who came into the event as the 42nd seed, started off the weekend by winning every set in pools except for a 2-1 loss to Blue. This meant that Tubasuwa started off top 128 in losers, and yes, apparently losing only one set meant that you started in losers. Anyways, Tubasuwa went on a lengthy losers run after this, defeating KJ 3-0, Bakakabo, and Takutiria, both in 3-1s, and Naocha 3-0, before eventually losing 3-1 to Futori no Kiyomi-A for a final placement of 17th. Next is Kojika Yoshio, who came into the event as the 31st seed, starting off the weekend by sweeping pools flawlessly, no games dropped. Headed into top 128 from winner's side, once there, Kojika would lose 3-0 to Yara, dropping down into loser's bracket. Once here, though, Kojika went on a great losers run, defeating Budoshu 3-0 and Crete 3-2, before moving on and getting an insane Game 5 upset win over Subo, defeating him 3-2. Unfortunately, after this, Kojika would lose to Yin 3-0 for a final placement of 13th.
まだ大丈夫ギリギリ。さあストックは並んでいるのでこの展開どうにかしたがまだがケアされている素晴らしいタクで小鹿義雄選手勝利していった。
Next, we have Naten, a Japanese Sonic main who went on an insane run through winners at ITSUKUSHIMA 2. Naten, who came into the event as the 40th seed, started off the weekend by absolutely sweeping pools, only dropping one game 2 and notably defeating villager main Kikuzukari 2-1 to make top 128. Once there, Naten got some crazy wins over both Akikikusu 3-1 and Miko 3-0 to make it into winners quarterfinals. Unfortunately, once there, Naten would lose to Ashimo 3-0, dropping into the losers top 8 qualifier and losing to Rocky 3-1 for 9th place.
スピンから空中前、これはどうだ。まだ耐えるリュウもう一回だ。これジャンプを使っていやここでただの空中前。
And lastly, for our pre-top 8 segment, we have Money Right. And if you're wondering who Money Right mains, then, I'm just gonna say they're a PT main with a Wario secondary because that is a lot of characters. Money Right, who came into the event as the 19th seed, started off the weekend by placing 1st in their pool, moving into top 128 from winners. Once there, Money Right would lose 3-1 to Lappy, dropping into losers and first having a close Game 5 set with Kizu Sakari, before moving on to defeating Supi, Miko, and most notably Futori no Kiyomi-A, all in 3-1 victories. Unfortunately, Money Right would lose to Ryuo in a close Game 5 set in the losers top 8 qualifier for a final placement of 9th.
ここは空中前果敢に刺しちゃったんですけど上選択。
うわ
それは分からんわ。
ちょっと絶叫してしまいました。
時間なら。
But before we get into the top 8, we have one more thing to go over. Not necessarily a player, but rather a character. Kazuya Mishima. ITSUKUSHIMA 2 saw multiple Kazuya mains go on insane runs, the 3 of them being Miru, Miko, and Rocky. Miko came into the event as the 24th seed and got an insane 3-0 upset win over Goryoka, but unfortunately lost to Naten 3-0 and Money Right 3-1 for a final placement of 17th. Miru came into the event as the 11th seed, notably defeating Snow in an insane Game 5 upset win before losing to Gact 3-0 and Yin in a close Game 5 set for a final placement of 9th. And lastly, Rocky came into the event as the 10th seed, being knocked into losers early by Ryuo 3-1 before going on a great losers run, defeating Nizemamo 3-1, Kion 3-0, and Naten 3-1 to actually make top 8 from loser's side. Unfortunately here, Rocky would lose ironically enough to Snow 3-0 for a final placement of 7th, a great way to transition us into talking about the notable moments within the top 8 of ITSUKUSHIMA 2. This also means that we'll start highlighting these sets with montages as they come.
もしかしてカズヤなの君はさあ少しめくっているが財布からうますぎて大丈夫しっかり今の自分がでもそうですねコンボルートできなかったのでしっかり打撃展開続いているが見ているうますぎる下見える素晴らしい崖攻めと
First off, we have Yin, Japan's premier Zelda main and almost definitely the best Zelda player in the world. Yin came into the event as the 20th seed, and after getting through pools, first got a good win over Nizemamo 3-1, before going up against and losing to Hedo 3-1, dropping into losers. Once there, Yin first defeated Blue 3-1, before defeating Kojika Yoshio 3-0, and lastly defeating Miru in a close Game 5 set to make top 8 losers side, where Yin would have to go up against Ryuo. 近距離開始として DA 上スマッシュ素晴らしいですねいや今の上スマで相手の位置を誘って手内側ファントムで気がするとさあもうまるでペルソナを扱うファイターのようなさしたスマッシュスカーサとしたっけ狙っていくか逆をさあ分からないですよゼルダも非常にパワフルなファイターですからね下強でキーツこれはしっかりつながるパワーセントでつながるさあここからの劇的パワーさあ一戦決めて稲妻先制したのはワインゼルダクイスマ当たらず素晴らしい下スマッシュ決めてさあここを流れるように自分を攻め立って大丈夫届くが大丈夫かうますぎてさあマイク選手が崖のこの攻防を制して下京さあ近距離の本当さあ大爆発事件起きてさあ事件が起きているさあ2回事件が起きました今まだ火力の目がある上スマ当たらずさあ依然といやらしい状況うますぎてワイ選手稲妻キック動いてきたところをゲームメイクしようとそういうところですが自分が冷静すぎるさあファントム対応の大丈夫か後ろ投げ大丈夫基礎展開うますぎるここしっかり崖を制するのはどちらになるのか上スマ当たると下京上スマ素晴らしい
ここで初めての下京上スマ
そうですね下京上スマにあとこれはバレルが外れましたねはいさあここが美味しい利益にとって高い判断高すぎるさあ高いからのうまいしっかりが続く竜王ディリ鬼の攻め怒涛の攻めかいくぐって決めきってそこから崖狩りを決める勝ったのは竜王And in the end, Yin would sadly lose to Ryuo in a close Game 5 for a final placement of 7th as the 20th seed. But since we're already seeing part of Ryuo's bracket run, let's talk about Ryuo himself for a minute, shall we? Ryuo is a player you've no doubt heard of if you're a longtime fan of the channel, who came into the event as the 7th seed, and after sweeping through pools, Ryuo defeated Rocky 3-1 before going up against and losing to Yara in a 3-1, dropping into losers. And after defeating Money Right in a Game 5 to make top 8, Ryuo first defeated Yin 3-2 like we just watched, meaning that Ryuo went into losers quarterfinals against Ashimo, who had just lost in winners semifinals to Umeki. Ashimo was one of the best players in Japan and the first seed of the tournament, but Ryuo was determined to try his best. やっと置かれている技がこれバナナがあるので竜巻とは選択できなかったがここは出てきました足元空母足元に対して攻め立てれるかこれは下スマ を狙いながら、うますぎる、まず落としから着地横スマッシュ決めて先制したのはもうゼリューを切る選択肢を取っていきました。見事です。うわ、深めにさあ、これは今のはプレッシャーですか？プレッシャーもある15% リードだが負けてられないよ。ニュートラルは大丈夫か？届かない、ちょっとやってしまったか。ここは足もが取って取りだ。どちらがこのストックもぎ取るのか。奥しっかり読んでる。次ですね。だけは昇竜拳、ハンター早すぎ。竜王選手もうひたすらしかなかった。横見通してラインを詰めて崖展開、どうしたが回避、ニュートラルアタックもうますぎる。さあ塩が決めた。虹さあ何も繋がらないなら横 B での選択肢を仕掛けようと。いや、うますぎるよ。した今日から激ついコンボを決めて、あの相手はあの先行コブ、あとは気合、どちらの気合が上回るか。うますぎ、大丈夫、まだバズが出てるので激つい。横 B を見ているかのような。横 B が飛んでくる。崖際だから大丈夫よ。ここ決めきって横 B でラインをしっかり崖そこまで詰めきって、足もストックさえ残ってしまえばこの男はやってきますからね。仕留め切りたいところ、横 B で崩しきって激つい。レーザースクローザーファイナル、勝ったのはRyuo.
And in the end, Ryuo defeated Ashimo in a close Game 5 set, moving into losers quarters where he would have to face off against Gact. Gact came into the event as the 3rd seed and had made winner's side top 8 by defeating Seika 3-0, Lapi 3-2, and Miru 3-0. Unfortunately for Gact, he had lost to Yara 3-1 in winner's semis, but had just defeated Snow 3-1 in losers quarters to make it into losers semifinals versus Ryuo.
前さあ崖がさあ怖い。さあああいうのがあるんですね。そし見切ってたが大丈夫。決め切ったが解説不能。無理です。さあガクトの崖がうますぎる。崖しんどそうですね。だから D が下強上がるから冷静にウスはさあ取り返しても負けておりませんよ。崖さあほぼほぼと言ってもいいしょ。バナナがうまくて合わせてこれはメテオ決めたのは竜王のメテオが決まりうわうまっ。これは試合決め切って相手の回避したところ、もうそこはもう隅ですと。竜王選手がこの崖を制することができるか。うますぎる。激つい竜王決め切って、これもバナナからの上京さあ今日苦言の試合かでさあほかほかどっちでも死ぬんかい。崖逆からでも大丈夫と。さあここは取り返していった。しかし1ストックビハインドのこの状況。下今日うまいガクトですの回避が出ちゃったがゆえの右や届かず。さあ相手のバナナに対して取りに行く行動に対してのプレッシャーかけ方本当にお上手。またもやうまいガクトの復帰阻止が選択肢複数の選択肢を見せてなんとか DA が決めきった。勝ったのはガクト。 DA の先端が当たりまして。
And in a close Game 5 set, Gact would triumph over Ryuo 3-2, moving into losers finals and eliminating Ryuo at 4th place. Now in losers finals, Gact now had to face off against the player who had sent him into losers to begin with, Yara. Yara had come into the event as the 2nd seed and had made top 8 from winner's side by defeating Kojika Yoshio and Kian 3-0, as well as Ryuo 3-1. In winner's side top 8, Yara had defeated Gact 3-1 before losing to Umeki in winner's finals in a dominant 3-0 sweep. Yara was now in losers finals for the run back versus Gact.
はい逆になんでね
回避してもまあ展開がね
これは
さあもうやってなかそうな匂いをする下強者強
これは痛いんだ
見え暴れしっかり分かっている
うまいな
ぴったり当てていや浦賀先生残念やっぱりリーチが多分相手に苦しいよーこれはうまいか
これは一気に
そうですね意識外の外からの突然の見えますからねPK サンダーがうますぎるやんですね下つまで撃墜しないがさあこの PK サンダーをしっかりオープンで当てたがジャンプ残してるんでナイスキルが取れません取り返したさあボムと
ボムが
さあ崖苦しいさあヤウラサウスの
よく知ってます
上で出されてしまうと
あ
取ったのヤウラで
しかしまだ
下から変えてくるさあヤウラ空気がうまくてこれは本当ウエストはなんで避けるのなんで激勢ガット決めてストックリード上をする崖右入ってるぞスマッシュジャンプが取り返したのはガットジャンプが上に置かれてるが固めからの
固めている
いいねうますぎる車センターさあちょっとギリギリこの崖上がりきった手前で抜けた激レーザーファイナル勝ったのはヤウラ
And in the end, Yara defeated Gact in a close Game 5 set, moving back up into Grand Finals and eliminating Gact at third. Yara now moved into Grand Finals from loser's side against the player who had defeated them prior, Umeki. Umeki had come into the event as the 5th seed and had made top 8 by defeating Krosk, Subo, and Hedo, all in extremely close Game 5 sets. In top 8, Umeki had defeated Ashimo 3-0 and Yara 3-0, sweeping both of them to make it into Grand Finals winner's side. All Umeki had to do now was do what he had done before, defeat Yara.
さあヤウラ車目つないだのは梅木クラムだけさあ回避上がりも怪我しているがトップワードユーモが飛びつって指につけ出して車へ落として1本目いや2曲目チャージショット1戦返していくボカンしたシュートさあこういう味がそうですね味が染み込んでますねこれはうまい100枚抜いてやり返して1-1これは車へしっかり刺してさあカブといろんなそして選択肢集中しろ取って2本目さあ負けじと車へ返していくのは向きスカシつかみなんかもう冬キャンセルしてるという下スマッシュさあ撃墜着通して崖は空母狙っていく空中になる上りから出していくさらに下スマッシュ捉えきったここでさあ負けられない思いがここにあるここで決め切っていくそして当ててジャンプは狙い激撃刈り取って梅木のターンかいやうまいカウント落としから集中しろ決め切ってさあつかみが激痛上投げでしっかり決め切って集中しろこの数上見で切り返していく空下降りを選択空中しろそしてこのウエストを狙ってるよ当たらないさあヤウラの防御能力戦いさあ崖使わせてこれはさあロジカルにこれ痛いよ楽したスキル最大の大きい攻め強ミサイルからの名点を決めて魂 優勝はヤウラ
And in a shocking reversal of winners finals, Yara double eliminated Umeki, defeating him 3-0 in grands and 3-1 in the reset, eliminating Umeki at second and becoming your champion of ITSUKUSHIMA 2. This tournament saw lots and lots of upsets, losers runs, and crazy sets, and I want to take another moment here to thank Rosebloom for helping me write this script and bring all these moments to you, dear viewers. The link to Rosebloom's Twitter will be in the description of my video, and expect to see her on the channel again in the hopefully near future. That's going to be it for today's video. Before I go, shout out to my patrons Seth Laster and Fosco33, and my YouTube members Stormtrooper, Lucasoko, Mattoon, Bropoke, Diarrhea, DJ Jr., Defective, Neo, and my tier 2 members Mike G and Wu-Tang Forever. Don't miss the shorts and streams I'll be producing over the weekend, and don't miss me tomorrow competing in Fighting Ghosts in Springfield, Missouri. I'll be playing there and hopefully commentating the tournament that features lots of Midwest talent like Colorado 8, Despade, and Justin23, all of whom I've covered on the channel before. If you've ever wanted to meet me, this is your chance. Come say hi. With that said, until tomorrow, I've been Mr. Mice, and thank you all so much for watching.